right, to discuss this further, let's bring in Seijiro Takeshita, who joins us now from Shizuoka, Japan. He is a professor at the School of Management and Information at the University of Shizuoka. Seijiro, good to speak to you. I'll get to North Korea in just a bit, but I want to begin by asking you what I asked Michael, and I want to get your take in terms of the significance of this historic trip. I mean, the first of its kind in more than a decade.
I think this is a very brave and bold move by President Yoon. I mean, he's trying to basically rectify the bridge that was burned down by the previous president, which was Mr. Moon Jae-in, who basically utilized the political issues. In other words, bashing Japan is always an easy, quick way of fixing up the votes and popularity. And that's exactly what he did. But he played with fire and resulted in burning down the bridge between Japan and Korea. So I think it's Mr. Yoon who is trying to rectify this to normalize the state of the economic conditions, which we could both benefit from, and create a lot of synergy. Unfortunately, that's not happening. It's going the other way around. And of course, this is not the timing really to do this, considering the security issues which you have reported earlier.
How much do you think that North Korea and this country sort of upping its weapons testing has to do with what you said in terms of President Yoon sort of abandoning this low-hanging fruit in terms of bashing Japan and sort of the thawing of this fraught relationship?
I think as far as this incident, I think we're looking too much on a microscopic level. In other words, looking at North Korea only. What we have to do is two steps backward and see who's really, doing this. In other words, who is a patron of North Korea. Let's not forget that North Korea has absolutely nothing as far as in a feasible trade is concerned, at least on the international trade side. And 85%, however, of their economy is linked and basically being fed by China. So if you look at from the perspective of the hegemony war between the free world versus the unitary state like that of China and Russia, it becomes very clear that North Korea is actually is possibly being used by the unitary state like that of China. So what we really have to see is a bigger picture that is going on, and therefore, I think we need to solidify amongst the free world nations that is based on democracy.
I'd just like to remind our viewers that these are live pictures from Tokyo as the two sides are meeting for an historic meeting, the first of its kind in 12 years. Seijiro, you mentioned the struggle between the free world and a unitarian state. You mentioned China. I have to bring up the United States. Talk to us about the significance in the rapprochement, the conciliation between South Korea and Japan, and how this plays an important role in the alliance with the United States.
Absolutely. Well, it's the United States that's been urging this and actually pushing both Japan and Korea on their backs to have reconciliation, and particularly considering the fact that the aggression from China is getting very, very evident, not only in means of military, but in economy, in communication, in finance, so what have you. So basically, I'm very sure that Americans are feeling very much of an alarm at this point, and therefore asking the unification or the solidarity of the region. And with Korea and Japan, two very big forces in this area, staring at each other and having a rock bottom, sentiment against each other is not what the United wants to see as a leader of the free world.
Seijiro, what do you expect to come out of this? Anything concrete?
Yes, I think so. As Michael put it, one of the biggest worry is that still 60%, 56% of Koreans feel very much against, Mr. Yoon's proposal. But in my opinion, Japan will not, budge further than this. I mean, there is no way that we're going to basically scrap off the 1965 agreement that goes against all the international laws that Japan abide by. So, it's a good start, and at least we can start the step. And as you just reported, we're at the table. We're starting to negotiate. That is basically a very good start because we didn't even have that for 12 years.
Yeah. Okay. Seijiro Takeshita, thank you very much for joining us here on Seijiro. Enjoy speaking with you and hearing your analysis. Thank you.